Hi everyone, welcome to another series from Nice Little Town Christmas 2. Sorry about my light there. I picked this page partly because it's lovely, but partly because it's sort of split into two, and I thought it would be a nice sort of easier way to do two parts. I'm not going to worry about the outside. For me it looks like it's a sort of tree branch or some part of a tree, but we're going to just concentrate on the top half today. I've got my Castle Arts gold pencils and I'm just going to get going really, and we're going to see where we get to. I'm going to start with a red, just trying to find one. We're a bit short on reds in this set. I want a really dark one, not the Venetian red. I think actually the grenadine is quite pink. I know. I used the cherry pink. It might seem a little odd, but it's coming closer. I think we're going to have to just come right in. I'm going to concentrate on the fire. I'm going to do the top bits of the fire in this now. It is a pinky red, but I'm going to go over it in a bit. I'm going to try and fade that down a bit, so make it dark at the top of these pointy flamey bits, and then use the bear with me a minute, there we go, the cadmium orange deep. Oh sorry, it's very blurred, isn't it? Put it right over the top and it will make it look less pink. And on these larger areas I'm going to fade it down and we'll have another colour. So I guess it's getting really close to Christmas now. It might even be almost there. I'm not sure where I'm at with videos, to be honest. I'm just making them and I'll put them up and we'll see what happens really. Which ones are near the day. I just tend to put them up in order. And my next colour is a Naples yellow. I'm just going to give it a sharpen. Although the golden yellow might be better. I think I'm going to use the golden yellow. Looks quite pale. I'll give it a go, see what it looks like. Okay, golden yellow. Now I've only got the 72 set, so there may be a sort of darker yellow that might work better in here. Sort of going over all of it really with this. And there we go, there's our fire. We need to do the logs. I want quite a dark brown. I'm going to use this is the burnt umber, because if this is like bark it'll be quite dark. It's quite fun colouring fireplaces and fires. Nice and warming, that's for sure. It's quite funny, I think, you know, sometimes colouring snow this time of the year makes you feel a bit cold, but it also feels festive at the same time. Okay, we've got our inside of our fireplace, got this sort of rod. I'm thinking if I do that black to start with, so I've got my ivory black, I'm going to do a light layer of black and make it a little bit darker at the bottom if I can. A bit tricky, and in this bit here I'm going to make that really intensely dark. There we go. Now we want quite a dark colour behind the fire, but I don't want to go as dark as I did then, so I'm going to grab the cool grey deep and do the whole of this sort of back part in this. I'm just doing a layer to start with, and then we'll see where we need to make it a bit darker, or whether we need to make it a bit darker in fact. I think, you know, if you look into a fireplace, particularly if there's a fire, it can look really dark in places. I'm going to start layering up, but where the fire flickers it can sort of light it up, so it's quite tricky, but I think I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just going to sort of put a darker layer around the fire, make the fire stand out, and try and even it out a bit because it's messy. There we go. And I'm going to put this colour underneath as well. I think the whole of the fireplace might be the same material. And then we'll put these bricks in a slightly lighter grey. I'm just seeing if that's the right colour. Not really. What do we have we can use? We're going quite pale. Let's use the charcoal grey. I think the others are a little bit too pale. So use the charcoal grey. Now for the bricks, I'm going to give them a little bit of shape. So just make them a bit darker on the edge and a bit lighter in the middle. Just makes them look a little more, I think, brick-like. Sometimes bricks are actually the reverse and they're lighter on the outside than in the middle, but yeah, we'll see. There we go. Now I'm going to do this front part here in this colour. I'm going to keep it quite light though. I can't believe he's taken his slippers off. I'm just trying to keep it fairly light, although that's gone a bit messy, so I need to just, that's better. A bit across here. I was tempted to do fireplaces wood, but probably wouldn't be, would they? Now, I think I'm going to do this bit just a little bit darker. So I'm using the same colour and just putting it down a little bit darker, pressing a little bit hard. I'm not pressing really hard. I'm just not doing it as lightly as I did for this front bit. I think it would be lighter because it's closer to us a little bit maybe. This top bit, I'm going to make it darker near those lines and a bit lighter in the middle. I don't really know what those lines are supposed to be, but oops, I've gone right out of the line there onto our what is it called? Garland, I guess. And again, darker on those lines. And this sort of flue I'm going to do in the same colour. Again, I might make it a bit darker like that bit. Now, in this picture, there's quite a lot of blank space. The wall and out of the window and things. And I've noticed there's quite a bit of that through this book, which I think could be daunting. But we'll manage it. So this one we're just doing in one colour. Now because this is the flue, I think it might be rounded. So I'm actually going to go back along those edges with a slightly darker layer, and it might make it look rounded. Got to do that bit in there. There we go. I think that's enough for now. Oh, middle of this. There we go. Okay, let's do all our detailing around our fireplace before we move on. I've just realised I coloured the top and you couldn't see it. I'm really sorry. Hang on. There you are. I'm so sorry. So I tried to do it a little bit darker at the edges. Okay. Let's do... Ooh. How did I do that? While I'm thinking of my colour, I will try and erase that. I don't think it's going to erase very well. It's a really hard line, isn't it? I'll do my best to take it back a little bit. I'm just going to have to colour over it and try and hope it disappears a bit. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to do the decorations now. And actually, I'll get the whole of the page in view for you so that, because I'll probably do all of them. Now, these garlands, I'm going to do all the same in a green. I'm going to carefully pick what I think might be quite sort of colour. Thinking, would I do it sort of hooker's green? Do we have that sort of shade? Actually, that's not such a nice shade in this. I'm going to go with the cadmium green actually, and I'm going to do all of these wreaths. Now I think here with decorations, I think keeping to a limited colour palette can be easier, and sort of thinking of a colour scheme. I'm always very tempted to do green, red and yellow or gold. It's very Christmassy to me, but you might prefer to do pinks and purples, blues. There are all sorts of Christmas colours that you can pick from, so you don't have to you know, stick with the traditional, as it were. But I find it automatically just looks Christmassy if I do those colours, but that's for me. For you, it might not be the same. So there's that bit of green. Now with this wreath, I think these thinner ones are ribbon. So I'm going to do these larger areas in green, and then leave the thinner section to do in a ribbon, probably red. Now you can also decide that you might want to do some of your decorations in a metallic pen. I am thinking about that myself. Like the round balls, or balls as we call them. They maybe would be shiny metallics, or even the ribbons. You might want some glittery colours. I'm not sure. That's something to have a think about. I think I'm going to do it all in pencil, and then I might go over with glitter, or just go over with metallic entirely with gel pens or whatever, you know, afterwards. So I think it's a matter of, you can, the thing with gel pen is it'll cover anything, so you can change your mind once you've done it, which I may do. Where are we going now? Oh, over here. Can you see now? I'm sorry that you couldn't see earlier. It's a bit rubbish, isn't it? It happens from time to time. Now the Castle Arts Gold, I find, and things like Arteza Experts, I think they work quite well on this paper. You don't need to do a million layers to get them to show up. Some of the harder pencils, because this paper's a little bit toothy, they don't necessarily show up so well. I'm trying to see if this is the this isn't doesn't say oil. Yeah, this is a UK book, so the paper is different to ones printed elsewhere, because it's print on demand by Amazon. So they use different papers in different regions. So it can be a matter of experimenting a little bit. Okay, now I'm having a quick look to see if that's all the green. I might put a bit of green on these stockings, on this sort of bit here. And on the base actually. Sorry, is that bit of pencil annoying you as much as it was annoying me? Oops, did that one in the wrong place. Oh dear. Never mind. Okay, I'm sorry if you copied me and did that wrong. We'll sort it out. Now I need a red. Am I going to use, what's that? Peach. There isn't a red. It's really weird. There's like a magenta or a rose deep, a Chinese orange. There's a red ochre. I think we're going to have to use that because my only red is getting short. I'm going to use it for the ribbons. Now, for ribbons, they're often satiny and shiny, so I'm going to try and leave a little bit of shine. Not too much, just a small bit like that. So what I'm doing is I'm putting down more layers towards the centre and the edge, bringing them gently towards each other and just leaving a little bit of white. And doing that on each one. It would also help our wreath to look more rounded in its sort of, yeah. So there's that. I'm going to probably do the baubles in a gold. Oh, we've got our stocking. I'm going to do the main part of the stocking in red. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. It's getting really blunt. There we go. I'm not worrying about shading on these, they're too small. I mean, I could, they aren't really small, but I've got such a lack of reds. And also, because they're fabric, they wouldn't really show up very well. This ribbon, going to do in red as well. And I'm going to just sort of fade it down towards the bottom a little bit, I think. Because this one doesn't look like it's made of the same material as the wreath one. It looks crinkly. Make it a little bit paler in the middle though there. And I think for these sort of bow bits, I'm going to make them darker at each end. A bit paler in the middle. Still going to have some red there, just a little bit less. Let's see how that looks. I think that's okay. And these balls have got a string. I'm going to do the string in red. And this string as well, I'm going to fade it a bit towards the middle so it looks a bit shiny, as if it's the same sort of ribbon. There we go. Oh, we've got this ribbon. It's the same as that one. So I'm going to fade it towards the bottom again on these bits like I did on the other one. And then, oh, I did a little bit in the centre of that one, didn't I? And the centre of these. It's a bit darker on the edges and a bit lighter in the middle. Okay, now we have all these round balls and I'm going to do them in a yellowy colour. I've just got to choose it. Should I do it? I can't decide. I think I'm going to use the cadmium yellow. It's going to give it a sharpen. Cadmium yellow. And I'm going to use it for all these bits on the stocking. Oh, I've got a very wobbly leg. Oh dear, let's try that again. That sort of J shape, I think it might be supposed to be, might be an initial, I suppose, or it might be an upside down candy cane. I don't think it would be upside down, would it? So there we go. What I'm going to do with the balls is try and make them dark on the outside and leave a bit of shine in the middle. Some of them are too small to really do more than one colour. We're a bit lacking, as I say, yellows, in bright yellows. This lead is really wibbly wobbly. I'm going to persevere with it for a minute. It might be my sharpener. But actually I had a new blade put in it and I don't think it's not full, so I don't know. Might be that I need to use my dowel. Now while I'm doing these all the same, so more layers on the outside, less towards the centre, I'm thinking about the background colour for the wall, because we want the decorations to stand out. We don't really want the wall to overtake that, so it needs to be something fairly pale, I think. And then think about this window as well. I think we'll do the wall next. And I'm thinking maybe a lighter grey colour, but we're in a tree, aren't we? So it might actually be a brown. I'm wondering about this terracotta light. It's a bit darker than the yellow. Might work. Gonna give it a try. So I'm gonna try and just do a light layer throughout and try not to sort of shade anything too much. And we'll see how it goes really. The mushrooms or toadstools I'm going to colour up in a bit. I think we could make them look a bit like Christmas decorations, even though I don't think they are supposed to be, by making them sort of red and silver, well, red and grey, but you know, might look a bit silvery. So I'm trying to just keep an evenish tone throughout here. It's quite fiddly when you have to go around things. But I don't want the, as I say, I don't want it to stand out too much, so I don't want it to be too dark a layer. So try to just keep it even and simple really. I haven't done those balls. Whoops. I'll come back and do those in a minute. You can see it, when you just do a light layer, it can be really quite quick, which makes the background not less daunting. We've got a bit here, that's outside the door. Now my orange scribble is going to show up, but I'm just going to stay chilled about it. It is what it is, it's a little mistake. It's there, I can't get rid of it. There's no point in getting worried about it. I feel we're lacking a little bit there. Right, let's do those balls, which were the, whoops, were they the cadmium yellow? I think so. Yeah, so it's so snowy here that we couldn't get out of the house. We could get out of our house, that's a lie. We could get out of the house. We couldn't get out of the end of the road in a car. I'm trying to choose, I think I'm going to use a black. I'm trying to find my black. I used it already. Yeah, I used it in the fire, didn't I? I'm going to use the black for the window frame. So at the end of our road we have a hill, and it rarely gets gritted. And it's steep and nothing was getting up it. So nobody could get out of the road yesterday until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when the snow started to melt a little bit, and now it's frozen over, but fortunately the road was clear, so people are able to get out, but it was quite a challenge. Our neighbour who has a van, I was trying to get to work. I don't know if he runs the business or manages it, but he needed to get there. He just couldn't get out. He tried for half an hour because we've got traffic lights on the hill, so you go up, you wait for the lights to change, then you try and push your way up and you can't, so you roll back down and then you wait and you try again and again and again. And this is what he was doing. And he took him a long time to give up. He's got his door open. That worries me. I hope he's just going through to the next room and he's not letting a big old draft in. I'm going to colour the door next with the permanent brown to make it like a wooden door. But me and my son popped outside to do some recycling. He popped his walking boots on and actually went outside. I just stood on the doorstep and passed him stuff, and we touched some of the snow. It was just so beautifully soft. It was lovely. It was cold, obviously, but it was beautifully soft. We loved it. And he was throwing snowballs. I was throwing some because, you know, we're children. Blue grey for the latch. I'm just going to try and make it a bit darker at the top, a bit lighter in the middle, so it might look like it's a bit silvery. And I'm going to use the permanent brown again for the windowsill. But a bit of snow fell down in front of my top, and of course we weren't wearing coats or anything because we're only going to the bin. Got a bit cold and I ran inside. Now the tops of the stockings I want white, and obviously I have coloured that one over in green, so I'm just going to erase as best I can and then use my Posca pen over it. It's not going to be perfect, but hey, that's fine. Now, where are we at? Got these picture frames. I think I'm going to do those in the permanent brown as well to make them look a bit wooden. I don't think they're, I mean, they could be windows, but I'm going to do them as picture frames. Now let's do our toadstools. I am going to use, I want a sort of really dark red, I think, I'm going to try this Bengal Rose Deep. Let's see if that's going to work for me. It's a bit pink, isn't it? But I'm going to go around the edge like that, quite dark, and then fade it towards the middle. And I'm going to do that on all of them. And I think I'm going to go over them with something to make them a little less pink. So a yellow or an orange probably. But we'll do them all the same. They're cute, aren't they? And my son's chattering, they're doing their maths work. I think their teacher came online and taught them some stuff, and I think just set them some work, and they're just doing it, getting on. But they're chattering, which is nice because it's maths, they both do maths. So yeah, that's rather too pink. I'm going to try... yeah, I'm going to try the peach, but it looks really pinky. Hang on, I'm going to scribble it on the paper. Oh, it is really pinky, that's no good. I'm going to have to use this. This is the marigold. And I'm going to use the same technique, so a bit hard on the edge in the middle. Yeah, it's making it look more red. Can you see? I'm happier with that. In fact, I could have used that combo for my bows and things. It would have looked a bit more Christmassy. But anyway, I'm not going to fiddle with them now. And our last one. And then we have the sort of grey bit. I don't want it to be too pale. I'm going to grab the, I can't pick it up, the Cool Grey Deep, and use that for this. I want this sort of inside bit to be quite dark. And then for the stem, slightly lighter in the middle, but I think that's going to be quite hard. It's quite small. It's interesting. I just heard a train. I wonder if they have a sort of snowplow train. I wonder if that went over first. I didn't think they would be running. But there were train strikes as well, but obviously not on that one. I don't know if they're today. I think the train companies where my sister lives were striking, because she said they'd have to drive everywhere all week because they couldn't get the train. She gets the train to work normally. But there we go. There. Yeah, I'm happy with those. Now, out of our door, now that colour wall, what did I use? Did I use the terracotta light, didn't I? I'm thinking I might use the cinnamon and just do just a light layer through like that. I don't really want it to stand out very much. It's just through the door at the end of the day. Now we've got this rail, and I'm thinking a wood. So, whoops, I'm going to grab my, my permanent brown, and I'm going to do it all. Oh, it's the same colour as the doll, never mind. I'm going to do it all in the permanent brown in a layer, and then I might try and do a little bit extra on the edges. But it's quite narrow. I may just stick with this one layer. I think it's quite fun, isn't it? Try and decide what other pictures, Christmas pictures, to do for you. And by the time you get this video, I would have probably completed the December's videos. I've got quite a few different books with pictures in. And I want to make sure I show you a bit from each of them really, if I can, but it's just not all the time in the world, is there? So I missed that one. I think what I'm going to do is along the very top, put a darker line. And along bottom just of this top part. Hopefully I'll make it look a little bit more rounded and help it to stand out from the door and the windowsill a little bit. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Okay, now we have our ground. Do we do it as a rug? Do we do it as soil? Or do we use, this is what I'm going to do, a colour which is neutral and could be either. So I'm going to use the yellow ochre and just do a gentle layer the whole of the floor. go. Okay, now out of the window I'm going to do a blue. I'm just checking through my blues, trying to decide which one might look the best. I think the primary blue is the one I'm going to use. It's as if we're looking out to the sky. So again, quite a light layer. Goes down vibrantly enough for us just to do one layer, which is nice. I'm just gonna go through that as well. You could do that as a bit of a stained glass, but I think it would distract. You know, the main focus of this picture, I feel, should be the decorations, the mouse, the fire, not the window. So I'm just going to keep it really simple like that. And we have these pictures which I'm going to do before I forget. Use the blue grey. They are shiny glass. We can't see in them. That's as simple as that. Right, mouse. Now, what colour is mouse? I have got no idea. I'm just going to look on the front of the book. Whoops. I've got a coloured in mouse. White. And it's very slightly pink and white face. Okay. Let's pop you back. There we go. I am going to do, got a very light pink. I'm going to use the pink bloom, I think. And just do a really light, so slightly darker at the bottom. And the legs, it's wearing shorts. Must be cosy by that fire. He's wearing shorts. Yeah, there he is. Okay, I think that's fine. And I might want to put a bit inside there. There we go. Take that up a bit. Now, I could come in, couldn't I? I don't need to be so far away. There we go. T-shirt, shorts, socks. We could do them in festive colours or not. What am I going to do? I'm thinking maybe different shades of green. So let's grab the hooker's green, oops, for you and do the top. I'm just going to put a layer down and then think about where it might be darker and lighter. Let's just sharpen this pencil. Whoop, I nearly dropped it then. So I'm going to do, it's going to be a bit darker here. Ooh, at the bottom. And in here where there's going to be shadow. We'll keep that sort of cuff bit as if it's a little bit lighter. There we go. And I'm thinking maybe we'll do green shorts as well. I'm going to use the oxide of chrome. I'll give this one a sharpen as well. And let's colour them in lightly again, and then think about where there might be some shadow. Now I'm going to use this green for these bits of the socks, toes, heels and top. And then the green we used before, the hooker's green, for the rest of the sock. Having socks to match your outfit, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So making them just a little bit darker at the bottom and not that much. Okay, so there he is. Slippers. Leaf green deep. Needs sharpening. Oh, my pencils are blunt today. There we go. Ooh, sorry about that bang. A bit lighter towards the top. Nice light bit inside and a really dark sort of line at the bottom and inside. There we go. Now the chair, I'm thinking red, but I'm thinking I want a sort of elegant red. Don't really have one. Magenta. Let's try the magenta. See what it looks like. It's quite pink, isn't it? But I'm just going to go over the whole chair and then just see how it looks really. I'm thinking sort of old-fashioned leather chair feel. Looks quite cosy, doesn't he, with that cushion? Having a nice read. I don't read very much anymore. I spend too much time colouring, which is fantastic fun. Now, oops, just going to think about where it might be a little bit darker. Here and here. Probably across these sort of lines there. Maybe just slightly a bit darker on that bit. I'm thinking it'll be darker at the bottom. So I'm just going to darken that. There'll be some shadow under the cushion. Maybe in these bits. There we go. Now the cushion itself, I think we'll go for a Venetian red. It's a sort of paler red. Now our actual book, I'm just grabbing a terracotta light for the pages, really gentle, and then the cover of the book, let's do it in the yellow. Let's grab our golden yellow. Gonna have to put it down quite hard to get it to show up. I think that's fine, and I'm just going to use the black. Oops, sorry, I bashed my tripod then. To do his eye and nose. So I'm going to need it quite sharp. There we go. There we go. Now I'm just checking to see how we're all doing. I think we are done. Let's come out a little bit so you can see the finished part. There we go. There is our little mouse in his warm sitting room having a read. So that was fun. Now what you could do now is to get some glittery pens or stickles or anything like that and add a bit of shine. I'm going to do that because I think it just needs a little something to make it look a bit more Christmassy. So I'm going to use these Gellyroll Stardust glitter pens. and I'm going to use this the gold and go around the edge of each of the balls in a sparkly gold. Now you could colour them entirely in this if you wanted to, but I'm just going to do the edges of all of them. I'm not sure I'm going to do anything else. You could do the edge of the ribbon, but for me ribbon isn't usually glittery. Could add some silver glittery dots on the mushrooms and things like that too, but I'm just going to stick with this. Just want to add a little bit more of a Christmassy feel. And we're nearly there. I think the last thing I'm going to do actually is use some of this glittery pen. This is number 700, which is just like a glitter glue with no colour under it, on the tops of the stockings. So they've got a little bit of glitter as well. And then I am done. So there we go. Gosh, it was quite a long one, wasn't it? But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.